Good afternoon, friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maggie and I love to make content about gardening, and if that's what you like to see, please like and subscribe this video. Today we're going to be doing a mid-July garden tour, and forgive me for not making a video or posting for a long time. It's just been such a busy season of life. And to be quite honest with you, today's garden tour is gonna be a neglected garden tour. Because if I'm being honest, I have not been in this garden for about 3 weeks, and we were on like vacation and just so many other things. Also, it's been like so hot and rainy here. The central area of North Carolina, it's been hot, it's been raining every single day, it's been so humid, and I think this is like one of the rainiest summers in like history. And yeah, we've just been having so much rain, and that has kind of made my garden have a lot of bug pressure right now, because it's hot, it's humid, and it's raining every single day. So yeah, things are a little bit neglected. The garden is a little bit messy, but I want my channel to be real. I don't ever just want to film whenever my garden is like perfect and pretty. I want to film like the real moments whenever life has happened. It's too hot, it's too humid, we went on vacation, and things are just not looking perfect. Also, I have a groundhog, and I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of that groundhog. I need to figure it out. But yesterday, from my kitchen window, I saw my groundhog eating my beans here, right there. Shoo! Go! Go away! Shoo! So yeah, he was eating the beans, and I'm like, how did you even get into the garden? So now I have to figure out how that groundhog got in, how to get it out, how to make sure that it minimizes the damage in my garden, because yeah, that's just not good news, right? It's just not good news. Oh no, now it's in the pumpkin patch. Oh my goodness, how do I get it out of here? But anyway, let's go ahead and do this garden tour, and I'll show you kind of like what a mess things are right now, and talk about how I plan to like fix it essentially. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so starting off, things are really green and luscious right now. In this bed right here, as you can see, the peanuts have just absolutely taken over this entire bed. But at the same time, all of my collard greens and chard have just been destroyed by bugs, which I should have expected because it's already August. We're in the thick of just that time of year where, you know, things aren't just going to be that great. I was maintaining the bug pressure on those greens by coming out here like every other day or so and picking off any leaves that I would see with cabbage worms or any type of bugs. I would pick them off, and I was still getting a harvest like pretty much every week. But since I've been gone for the last 3 weeks and I haven't had time to do that, the bugs have had time. They have had time, they have come through, and they have destroyed all of my greens. But that's okay because it's almost fall. So I'm gonna try and do a fall garden and plant some greens for the fall. As you can see here, just look at how badly that one has been eaten up. Crazy. Anyway, our green onions are doing great. And apparently green onions and peanuts are great companion plants because they're both doing really well in this bed. My sweet potatoes are huge, and as you can see, we've been chopping off the leaves. These are edible and you can cook them just like spinach. So we've been harvesting and eating them, all the while still letting the sweet potatoes grow. But now that we're in mid-August, I think I'm just gonna leave them alone, and I'm just gonna let things grow until October, whenever I come through and actually harvest the sweet potatoes underneath. Oh my word, I have never seen anything like it. What on God's green earth is that? Do y'all see that spider? That thing is huge, and huge is an understatement. Ah! Okay, so the size of that spider kind of freaked me out. So I took some time to like scan it on my app and figure out what it is. And I just found out that it's called a yellow garden spider. They are beneficial to the garden, and they apparently help control insect populations and stuff. So I'm gonna leave it alone, but its size really, I don't like it. I have to confess, like the hardest thing about me living in the South as somebody from the Pacific Northwest is the insect pressure of the Southeast. Like we don't see big spiders in the Pacific Northwest. We also don't see that many reptiles, so I'm constantly like seeing snakes and stuff, and I'm like, oh good Lord. Okay, Ruby, get down. Ruby, there's a snake. Okay, babe, this is enough. We can move back now. We can move back to the Pacific Northwest. This is really enough. That is a big black snake. Do you see that? Do you see how it's staring at me? I don't like it. I don't like it. So anyway, that spider kind of threw me off, but it's huge. Like, it's a gigantic spider. Moving on. I just have to be brave. Every day I come out in this garden, guys, just know that I'm putting on a brave face and my big girl pants. Every day I'm seeing something that I've never seen before. I mean, tell me that doesn't freak you out. I mean, if you're not a spider person, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm filming this. Tell me that's not like one of the scariest things you've ever seen. That is a gigantic spider. Anywho, moving on. From the sweet potato patch up, we have our cantaloupes. As you can see, the cantaloupes are giving up, okay? That side is dead. This side is still producing a little bit. We have harvested cantaloupes from here several times already, so I'm okay with them dying because I've eaten some cantaloupes from my garden. Oh, and look at these zinnias. Look just how beautiful. Zinnias are looking so pretty. They have come back to life. Things were really dying. There was a time we weren't getting that much rain, but you can see how beautiful and green they are, and the butterflies love them so much. Okay, moving on. Now I'm like scared of like what spiders I might see next. As you can see here, we've got plenty more sweet potatoes that have just taken over this section of garden here. This vine, this trellis, I mean, they're growing really tall, and I'm really excited in a couple of months to come through and actually harvest the sweet potatoes underneath and see how they're doing. Look at this Thai basil. This right here is Thai basil, and it's just taken over. As you can see right there, the bumblebees absolutely love it. So I love to have herbs and flowers in my garden that are beneficial for insects and all sorts of other that are beneficial for beneficial insects, and even hummingbirds. I see hummingbirds in my garden all the time, and I love that. Moving on. My poor tomatoes. Oh, they're so neglected. Poor guys. This is just awful. So as you can see, they have like grown and toppled over. I was doing a really good job of trimming them before we went on vacation, but I haven't trimmed them in 3 weeks. And with all the rain that we've been getting, they have just been growing and growing and growing. So I need to come through here and really do some work on these tomatoes because they are struggling. But the good thing is that we are getting tomatoes. Like, I just harvested a few yesterday, and as you can see in there, I have more to come through and harvest. Next up are these eggplants, and these eggplants are producing so well. There are lots of eggplants in there for me to come through and harvest. I just want to say I'm so proud of these eggplants because if you watched this channel like in the springtime, you know how much they were attacked by beetles. So the fact that they have come back and we're harvesting is just a miracle. That's all I can say. And these bell peppers are still doing good. They're still flowering. And oh my goodness, these guys, these marigolds, just one of my favorite flowers. They're so beautiful and I love them. We have so many weeds in the garden right now because I haven't come through and done any work in here in 3 weeks. So lots of weeds just everywhere. Moving on to this section, it's kind of overwhelming. It's kind of overwhelming. First of all, look at this corn. This corn is ready for me to harvest. And I noticed that we're having some bugs on the corn. So I need to come through and harvest as soon as possible. I'm hoping to do that early in the morning tomorrow. I'm hoping to come through tomorrow morning and harvest all this corn because I don't know if you can tell, but right now it is the heat of the day and it is hot. It is hot. So I don't want to do any like labor intensive work, but I wanted to come through and film this video. But I have a lot of harvesting that needs to be done. And that corn is the first thing. I noticed these small little black bugs on them yesterday and I don't know what they are, but I really need to come through and harvest that corn. My pumpkin is doing really well, although we are having some squash bug pressure on these, which I think is coming from this whole mess of zucchini, which we're gonna visit this in a moment. But especially this side is having a lot of like squash bug problems. But this side is looking really healthy. So I don't know how I'm gonna make sure that it doesn't like sort of transfer over to this side. Also, our watermelons have grown really big and we harvested a watermelon a few days ago. My husband did. And now I have a few more like that one. And there's one in there that I need to come through and get. There's, as you can see, just the weeds have taken over because I haven't had any time or opportunity to come through here and do some weed management. And look at these, lavender. This is something else that the bumblebees really like, and the butterflies. Let's move on to this section of the garden. You can see my zucchini plant is just awful. This is just awful. But it's okay. I give up. I really do. Growing up in the Pacific Northwest and being a gardener in the Pacific Northwest, I never came across a squash bug, not one time. I don't know if I just got lucky. If you are from the Pacific Northwest, specifically like Western Washington, Western Oregon, not over the mountains, but on the western side, please tell me, have you ever encountered squash bugs? I always heard about them, especially from gardeners in the Southeast. But now I live in the Southeast and now I have to deal with squash bugs, and I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. I hate squash bugs because keeping them off your squash, just all your squash and even your zucchini and all of that, it attacks everything. So this mess right here is because of squash bugs. And I have been fighting the squash bugs for months, and I was able to like kind of keep them back. But since I haven't been here for 3 weeks, the squash bugs came in and they won. And that's okay because I've harvested plenty of zucchini and I'll just live with it. I'll just live with it. But yeah, gardening in a new area of the country, like I'm battling things that I never battled like ever. And the bug pressure and the humidity is number one. I was just in Seattle last week and it wasn't humid. Oh, but it was really dry. Oh my goodness, the West Coast is so dry right now. It is such a stark difference what's like the West Coast right now to the Southeast, because right now in the Southeast we're getting so much rain, but the West Coast is so dry. And like, do you see my grass, my lawn? I don't water it. That's all rain right there. That's how much rain we're getting. And when I was in Seattle, all the grass is like bone dry. It is yellow. It is so dry, which is not a good thing either. But you know, and that presents its own challenges because, you know, I was gone for 3 weeks. I couldn't leave my garden on the West Coast for 3 weeks without having some sort of watering system. Here, I don't have a watering system because it just rains so much. But I also have to deal with high humidity and bug pressure. So I'm just taking the good and the bad and learning how to grow in a new space that I'm not used to. Another thing that I am not used to is, well, you know, I think this is a nationwide thing, but before I was living in the suburbs, but now I live in the country. So now I am having to contend with so much wildlife. Like I talked earlier about finding a groundhog in my garden yesterday. I have seen them around the property, but they have never been in the garden. Groundhogs, deer, we have so much deer that just walk through our property. And so far the fence has kept the deer out, but apparently not the groundhogs. So I don't know what all I'm gonna do about the groundhogs. And I know how to deal with rabbits. I mean, we had a rabbit pressure when I was living in Washington State, but I've never had to deal with groundhogs or deer. And that's something else that I'm like learning how to deal with and what to do about. So it's just this whole year gardening in the South has just been such a big learning experience for me. Over here, my okra, I need to come through and harvest this okra. Do you see how long they are? They're not supposed to be that long before you harvest them because kind of the texture changes in them. Yeah, you're supposed to harvest them when they're like about 2 to 3 inches, and these are at least 4 to 5 inches long. And I also have so much peppers, these jalapeno peppers, and we love these peppers, guys. We eat them all the time. We love these jalapeno peppers. So I need to come through, harvest all the jalapenos and weed this bed because as you can see, the weeds have just sort of taken over. Now in this bed, this is another sweet potato bed. And again, we've been harvesting the leaves for greens. And look at this. Look at this. This is a papaya tree. How cool is that? I have a papaya tree. Okay, so I know what you're wondering, Maggie. How did a papaya tree end up in your sweet potato bed? In your sweet potato bed. Now, in this bed, I put some, what is it called? Compost, my own compost. I put it in there, and we had eaten papayas, and I had thrown the seeds in there. So I have not one but 2 papaya trees that have sprouted in my garden. And I feel bad taking it down. I don't know how I'm gonna make it survive because the winters in North Carolina are too cold. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should get a greenhouse. Like if you guys, I don't know, can you grow a papaya in a greenhouse? I don't know what to do, you guys. Like if somebody has ever done that, especially in North Carolina, please tell me, how did you do it? How did you grow tropical fruit in the South? Because I am, like, as you can see, it's doing so well. It's at least like 2 to 3 feet tall. And yeah, I had seen it when it was still small, and I just let it go to see what would happen. And here it is now. It's obviously enjoying the humidity and the rain here. So I don't feel like cutting it down, but I don't know how to keep it alive either in the wintertime. Oh, I forgot to show you guys my loofah. Look how big it has grown, and it's flowering. All of these flowers are loofah flowers. Look at that. I have 2 loofah plants coming from these 2, this one and this one, garden beds. I mean, not garden beds, but sort of pots. And I have my first loofah gourd right there. It kind of looks like a gigantic cucumber. But I'm gonna leave those on the vine until they get really big and dry out. Hopefully I have enough time for that to happen before the frost comes in. I think I do, because I did plant them kind of late, but they're doing pretty well. But I do think though still we're having some squash bug pressure. And what is it? Squash bugs and cucumber beetles. Never dealt with them living in the Pacific Northwest, but it is an issue living in the Southeast. Moving on, this bed I had potatoes in, and I harvested all the potatoes and I planted beans in here. However, do you see all this? The groundhog did this. The groundhog has come through and eaten all of my beans. Do you see this? This is, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. I was so mad. I was so mad when I looked in my kitchen, through my kitchen window, and saw that groundhog in the garden bed just chewing on my beans. Girl, I was mad. I was mad, okay? I was so mad when I saw that. But I give up on my hopes and dreams of having beans this year. Not all of the beans sprouted, first of all, and then the few that did sprout just were eaten by the groundhog. So I don't know what I'm gonna plant in here for the fall. I'm not sure. Over on this side is my cucumber plant, which is dying. It's okay. I've harvested so many cucumbers off this plant, and it's just reaching the end of its life, and that's okay. So that's what that is. It's a gigantic dying cucumber plant. And over on this side, we have our tomatoes. I've got some cherry tomatoes, and these things are so flavorful. We've got your regular bigger tomatoes, and I have more marigolds in here, and these are so beautiful. We love these marigolds, especially my daughter. She loves to just come through here and pick a marigold here and there. And as you can see, these have grown to the point where you see that it's falling back down over. So I really need to come through here and trim these as best as I can because they are falling over. I got these garden stakes from the garden store, and they're about 6 feet tall. And the guy at the garden store was like, yeah, no, these are tall enough for indeterminate tomatoes. Well, they weren't for me, so yeah, this is my first year growing indeterminate tomatoes. I always grow the determinate ones that reach a certain height, and I really love those. I don't think I'll ever grow indeterminate tomatoes ever again. I just don't like it. I don't like the fact that they grow and grow and grow, and I don't like it. I like just the bush tomato that will stay at a certain height. And I don't like indeterminate. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm maintaining them wrong because this is my first year growing indeterminate tomatoes. So if you have any experience growing indeterminate tomatoes, please let me know what I'm doing wrong or what to do differently. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the space to show my imperfect garden. Please let me know what's going on in your garden, wherever it is you live right now. What, pressures and bug pressures and heat and humidity or dryness you're facing. And I hope you stick around for my next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.